You're good.
Good evening, folks, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is David Norkiewicz, the Director of Vocational Technical Programs. This evening is the first of the 5 live events that Shawshene Valley is hosting to showcase our vocational technical programs. Tonight's event will focus on programs within the manufacturing cluster, which include drafting, advanced manufacturing, also known as machine tool technology, electronics, engineering technology, which are merged those 2 programs, informational support services and networking, in programming and web development, which is also 2 programs that emerged. We are not only proud to provide tonight's information, but very excited because this is a first. A first for Shawshene Valley. With the cancellation of our community open house due to the COVID-19, we decided this would be the next best thing in offering you a chance to see our programs. We are recording tonight, so this event will be available on our website so it can be viewed in a later date or at your convenience. As you view this presentation, please feel free to post questions in the Q&A box that you have, that you may have about our manufacturing programs. This can be done by selecting the question mark icon located at the top right and typing in your questions in that particular box. All questions will be answered at the end of this presentation, but can be submitted anytime during this event. I ask you to keep your questions in a very general nature. I would also like to remind you that the deadline of the class for 2025 applications is February 1st, 2021, right around the corner. This can be done by visiting our admission page on the Shawshene Valley website. Information about admissions, including contact information, is also available on the admissions page. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Robert Guelli, the Department Chair of the Manufacturing Cluster, to do a review of each of the programs and have a few pitches to show along with the PowerPoint. And at this time, I'd like to bring in Mr. Guelli. Bob?
Thank you, David. So, welcome to Shawshene. My name is Bob Guelli, and I'm the Manufacturing Department Chair. I oversee advanced manufacturing, more informally known as the machine shop, engineering, programming and web, and drafting. There are 22 excellent career choices to choose from here at Shawshene, but I'm here tonight to present to you just one slice of Shawshene, which is our manufacturing shops. I'll kick this off with our advanced manufacturing shop, better known as the machine shop. So, career paths. Well, I should say, let me start with just telling you first what the machine shop is all about. So advanced manufacturing is the use of innovative technologies to manufacture products for all industries. Basically, as a machinist, you produce highly precise machine parts. There are many career paths to consider in advanced manufacturing. These paths are machinist, inspection, CNC operator, programmer, tooling design, and even a shop owner, just to name a few. Today's work environment is a lot different from what your parents might remember. Today's environment is a clean, modern, high-tech working environment where you would typically work indoors in a shop. You potentially could be working on a team or most likely individually. You would be wearing, some personal protective equipment and basically running high-tech machines and instruments. The best way to enter this field is to enter or attend a tech school like Shawshene. Other than a tech school, you can enter a community college or a technical college, and even companies offer apprenticeship programs to become machinists. However, we outperform all those training areas. We highly recommend entering Shawsheen for this training. Salaries. Well, the salaries listed here are from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. These are national numbers. Locally, we know we do much better from a salary standpoint than we do nationally. So in addition to just salary compensation, it provides, the salary will provide a very high standard of living, but most of all, you get what we like to think of as a good job, job satisfaction. Job outlook. Nationally, there are 5 jobs available for every graduate. Locally, again, we know the Northeast is even better than that. There are lots of specialty areas to train in, and in the Northeast, there's a lot of companies that will be looking for these areas. There's aerospace, medical, robotics, there's specific materials training, there's CNC work and inspection, just to name a few. Students at Shawsheen will be provided a comprehensive training on state-of-the-art equipment. You'll be using bridge ports and lathes on both manual and CNC robotic machinery. Students will enjoy working with the latest technology. Recently, the shop was upgraded with over $500,000 worth of upgrades. From a shop experience standpoint, you'll be enjoying specialized training and industry standards which include Mastercam training, Fusion 360, CAD/CAM, inspection equipment training, CNC programming, blueprint reading, and you'll be a master at all the manufacturing processes when you leave Shawsheen. So related theory. Related theory basically supports what goes on in shop. We'll be covering, but not limited to, covering things like equipment setup, safety, operation of tools and machines, material identification, advanced materials, measurement, tolerancing, and all of the applied math that goes along with it. As part of the machine shop training, we will certify every student in these 3 areas. Recently, they've just been awarded the Hotwork Safety Certification, which is a new certification. All students will go through the Occupational Health and Safety training for OSHA 10 card, and we also comply with all of the MACWIC training, which is an industry developed and recognized credential training. Co-op. So co-op placement gives students the ability to work while in school. Basically, starting the 4th term of their junior year, students can enter our co-op program instead of attending shop. Companies are actively hiring students in all of these areas. This list just represents some of our recent companies. And then last but not least, there was a slideshow that Jenna flew by. So here's a slideshow of our kids working. Our next shop we'll talk about is engineering. So what is engineering? Engineering is the use of scientific principles to design and build things like machines, structures, products. Basically, or in general, all man-made items start with engineering. Things like roads, tunnels, buildings, bridges, robots, appliances, medical devices, automation, all of these things start by engineering. Career paths boil down to 2 specific disciplines in engineering. There's the mechanical engineering side of things, and then there's the electrical engineering side. From a mechanical standpoint, you basically design or construct, or I should say design and construct machines, where electrical engineering is the design of equipment devices and systems, there's circuit designs, and electrical engineering crosses both disciplines, electrical and mechanical. The work environment. Typically, The work environment is a clean, indoors shop or a technician area. You would basically use mechanical tools and test equipment like oscilloscopes, for instance, but it's a clean indoor environment usually. So how to become an electronics or electrical or mechanical engineer? The best way is to start by attending Shawsheen's engineering shop. We will over-prepare you for a good job and prep you for a 4-year college. From Shawsheen, you leave with the ability to serve as an engineering technician at a great company, or you can enter a 2-year program for an associate degree as a design engineer and end up as a design engineer, or a 4-year degree to become an engineer. Degrees are the norm. However, companies do offer in-house apprentice training programs as well. Salary. So, this slide represents salaries from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics again, and they're nationally, but of course we know they're usually higher in the Northeast. However, there are other factors that are just salary-like. So, I should say, however, there are other factors than just salary, like benefits packages, which include lots of perks like retirement plans, vacation time, and large companies usually offer tuition reimbursement. The job outlook. So the job outlook is really strong for engineers right now. There's a lot of jobs that need to be fulfilled. The companies that we talk to actually have a term for this, and it's called the Gray Tsunami. Basically, there are generations that are older than us that are soon to retire, and they need to fill this gap. So Shawsheen is partnering with companies like Analog Devices to, be the pipeline for those jobs coming up. So students at Shawsheen in engineering will learn to apply scientific principles to solve problems. Areas of study include electronics, pneumatics and hydraulics, mechatronics, structural engineering, robotics engineering, 3D printing and machining, and laser work. The shop experience will also be project driven. All right, you'll solve problems through scientific means using the latest technology. Students in this shop are already enjoying some of the latest updates, where we spent roughly $400,000 in the past year. Related theory. Like all shops, related theory will be utilized to support the shop projects. Okay. In grade 10, related theory will cover electronics and physical computing. In grade 11, in the mechanics year, you'll be covering things like computer-aided design, simple and compound machines, properties of materials, mechanical advantage, statics and dynamics, thermodynamics, pneumatics, and hydraulics. As a senior, you'll be covering things like the engineering design process in metrology. And these are all areas which you as a student will encounter at a 4-year college. So it's a good introduction to all of these things for college. Licensing and certification. Engineering students will work towards completing these that are listed here. They're all industry-driven standards. Co-op placement. So again, co-op placement gives the students the ability to work while in school. Again, starting 4th term, junior year, students can enter their co-op program instead of attending shop. And these are the current co-op placement companies that are actively hiring our students. So here's some pictures of our engineering kids in process of doing their job. The next shop coming up is programming and web. Okay, in programming and web, basically in this shop, we write programs, build applications for emerging technologies that include cybersecurity, game development, entertainment, medical, automotive. It's basically in everything we touch today. it's important to understand that it's not just about gaming. Career pathways include security analysts, computers and forensic specialists, web developers, as well as video game designers. The work environment is mixed. You may work alone, but typically you're part of a team. Skills are scalable across, all companies. So, how to be part of this emerging technology? Well, here at Shawsheen, we feel the best way to start is to join us here. Career ready. So, the norm is a bachelor's degree in computer science. However, we believe the best way to get a jump start on your career is to start here at Shawsheen. Skills gained here will propel you to a great job or college. So, when it comes to salary, Massachusetts happens to be in the top 5 best paying states for computer programmers. The average mean salary for a programmer today in Massachusetts is $95,000. As you can see, it's more than the national average. Massachusetts is 5th in the country for salary. The job outlook, to put it simply, jobs are plentiful. The outlook for these jobs are truly off of the chart. Students at Shawsheen. So the students in this shop complete the computer science internet program, and they're equipped with skills that can be used to adapt and meet the changing workplace in an ever-growing digital environment, as well as the whole world. The shop experience will also highlight, the students experience hands-on labs, in-class and real-world curriculum with cutting-edge technologies for programming, web-based development, and cross-platform environments, including virtual environments. Related theory. So again, related is an academic class during their academic week that is used to enhance and support some of the stuff that happens during the shop week. So in computer science or programming and web, related theory covers things like Java programming, network theory, programming, maintenance procedures, virtual and augmented reality. So listed here are the certificates that the students will work towards. And when it comes to co-op, this is a list of our current co-op employees, and it's growing as we speak. All right, so here's a slide of our students doing some work. Next and final shop is drafting. So what is drafting? Basically, in drafting, we make technical drawings for professionals like carpenters, builders, machinists, or electronic techs, so that they can build from. So basically, we make drawings so that other people can do their jobs. So we support all types of manufacturing. So in other words, we communicate engineering intent for the manufacturer. Okay, it could be a machinist, an architect, or a builder, or electronics, or even civil. Career paths. In drafting, there are basically three career paths to follow: mechanical, architectural, and electromechanical. Each career paths have different avenues to take. From a mechanical standpoint, there's engineering, technicians, material science. You can become a designer. This is just to name a few. From an architectural standpoint, there's interior design, civil engineering, structural engineering. You can become an architect. There's model making. There's even animation that crosses all of these disciplines. Additionally, in the electromechanical area, You could be a printed circuit board designer, a packaging designer, electromechanical designer, using all those skills. So there are three major career paths. The work environment. Depending on the career path you choose, your environment can vary. Typically, you work in an office. However, you may be working at times in a machine shop, or you could be on a job site or at a civil site if you're in the architectural field. So the best way to join drafting is to get your start here at Shawsheen. We will prepare you for college or a job. If you go and take the college route, you'll need to specialize in one of the many engineering disciplines. Salaries and benefits. So, like all manufacturing shops here at Shawsheen, drafting is no different. There are big companies with generous benefits offering retirement plans, health insurance, tuition reimbursement, and great pay. Above all, a lot of great job satisfaction. The job outlook is strong. All the seniors enjoy a good wage, great benefits, and a great experience. Co-op jobs are one of our great resume builders. Right now we're in high demand, and the long-range outlook is really strong. So what will you experience? In the drafting shop, we work to mimic the real world. It's project-driven. We create deadlines like the real world has. We also include some design challenges throughout the year as well. College bound. So listed there are the colleges that our students have been attending over the years. Historically, most all of our drafting students go off to a four-year school, although in my opinion, it's not entirely necessary to attend a full-time college, as a lot of companies offer tuition reimbursement, which is a nice way to go. Co-op placement. So these are all of our current placements where kids are currently working this year. Historically, we've had really strong co-op jobs in drafting, and our network is equally as strong. Shawsheen has a great reputation for the go-to tech school for drafting jobs. All right, well, it looks like that's it. Thanks for listening. I'll turn it back to Dave Norkiewicz, and if you have any questions, I'll stick around.
Outstanding job, Robin. At this time, I'd like to have my administrative assistant, Helen Hayes, present questions that have been submitted during the event. So the Brain Trust, that would be myself, Robert, and we have Jenna Lesko that does our emissions also on board tonight. So at this point, I'd like to have Helen present some questions and see if we can answer them.
Great. Okay, I want to start off by thanking everyone for joining us tonight and for asking a question. The first question is, how does a student choose their technical area?
I guess I could jump in on that one. As a freshman is asked to do a little bit of a choice selection. And how that operates is a form gets sent out, they send in the top three along with their other choices. And then the way the model at Shawsheen is that they go through what they call an exploratory of going through those programs that the student would like to see for a full week, every other week. And currently we're going through a 14 cycle model. So that student is able to go through 14 of their favorite programs out of the 20 that we offer here at Shawsheen. And then at the end of the third quarter, usually their freshman year, we sit them all down and they choose their program that they'd like to attend. Most of the time, they get their top three choices. I believe this year and the last few years, it's over 90%, up to 95% of the 350 students get their first three choices of their permanent shop. So that's the model we use here at Shawsheen, and we've been doing that since the last 25 years, and it's been working out very successfully in students getting what they want when they come to Shawsheen Valley.
Great, thank you. Another question, if a student has a job for co-op, can they keep it when they graduate?
I guess I could also answer that since I know a little bit about the co-op. We love to see that. I don't know what the actual percentage is, but I'm going to say it's close to 20% of our students that get a co-op job their junior, senior year. When we do a follow-up, a 5-year follow-up, they're still working with that company, which is very exciting for the fact that many of the companies that hire our students are very, very pleased with what they, with the Shawsheen skill set the students have.
Another question I have is, what is the max number of students allowed in each program?
That varies. Being Shawsheen Valley is this year 50 years old, some of our footprints in the shops are small. So we accommodate the ratio of the guidelines from the Department of Ed. And obviously we got to keep many shops safe. So we use the ratio along with our good judgment in determining how many students typically will go into a program. For example, the construction on average averages 18 students per year in regards to our ratio there, versus say a ISS&N program, our computer program, or our DVC program. We can take up to 25 because it's a different setting in regards to the setup we have there. So it does vary. I think the lowest we can take is, I believe, auto collision because of the size of their shop, and I believe we can still take in 15 there, 12 to 15. So depending on what selection you are looking at, you'll be informed about the amount that we can get into that particular program.
I had a comment here that your drafting shop looks brand new. Has it been updated?
I'll let Bob take that.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, in the last year, we actually invested about $220,000 worth of equipment, furniture, infrastructure, laptops, and it was all through a skills grant that we were awarded. And it's all in. Everything's up and running fine.
Yeah,
and it does look great.
And I'll piggyback. It was a competitive grant, and Mr. Guelli did a lot of work to ensure that Shawsheen did get that skills capital grant. So thank you on that, Bob.
Speaking of that, across all of our manufacturing, I think we're pushing over $1 million in grants that we've actually put into our school just through the skills grant. I know it was close to 500 or just over 500 in machine shop. Metal fabrication was about 230,000. We did 220 here, and I think it was around 400 or so in our engineering shop. Yeah, so it's probably over $1 million if you add that up.
And a lot of that credit goes to those instructors, and with Bob's leadership on getting these grants, because they are very competitive at the state level. So again, we have very committed teachers and department chairs here at Shawsheen Valley.
Great, thank you. I have an admissions question. When and how can I have my daughter apply?
I can take that one. This is Jenna Lesko. So students can apply now. They can go to our website under our admissions tab and apply online. If for some reason you're unable to apply online, please just call Shawsheen. We're happy to mail out a paper application and we'll help you with the process. So you can apply anytime between now and February 1st. So now's the time. If you're thinking about it, it doesn't even cost anything to apply, and there's no risk in applying. So if you're thinking about it, start getting your application done, and you have until February 1st.
Thank you, Jenna. I have a question. It's about co-op. When can students go out on co-op, and what types of jobs in the trade do they usually get?
I can answer that. According to the Department of Ed regulations, a student must have at least a minimum of 1.5 years of total hours in their particular program, which basically means the end of the third quarter, their junior year, they'll have obtained those hours, and that's the best case scenario. The other criteria we use in determining if a student can go into our cooperative program is his grades or her grades. And the criteria of absentees and tardies also plays a big role if we allow that student to participate in our cooperative program. It's a privilege to go out on that, and we only like to send out the best of the best in the co-op program. And just for bragging rights, even in these crazy times we live in, out of our 223 students, I believe we have 164 students currently out on co-op as we speak. So our co-op director, Richard Lavoie, does an outstanding job with that, along with our teachers. And a lot of those cooperative job placements that you're seeing on the PowerPoint are from partnerships from our instructors over the years. And a lot of those placements we've had here for well over 20 years. So it shows a strong partnership we have throughout all the communities in regards to our placement. And just another plug for Shawshene Valley, that's what differentiates us from all other technical schools, is we usually lead the state in co-op placements. And we're very proud of that, because the philosophy here at Shawshene is the best experience is out doing the real live work, which these cooperative programs provide our students. So we're very staunch on getting our students out in the working world, even if they're going on to a post-secondary education, which many do. This is an experience that we can't match even here at the school. So we pride ourselves in moving forward with any time we have a placement of a student here at Shawshene Valley.
Thank you, Dave. Someone wants to know if you can give them an example of a project that students do in drafting.
An example. Well,
how about the collaboration with the machine in the metal fabrication, Bob? Some of the projects you did with the collaboration would be probably a good.
Yeah, we certainly create a lot of drawings for everything that they build in the machine shop. We actually create the drawings for. This is a project right here that's an aerospace product that was machined down in our machine shop, where we would make the drawings for. I don't have the drawings in front of me here, but there are projects like this as well, where we would make the drawings for, and the machine shop would actually build them. So we try to emulate the real world as much as possible, and drafting and machine shop would work together outside of here. So we emulate that as well here.
Mr. Guelli, can you show that again? Because I didn't have you on camera, but I think people would love to see that.
Oh, okay. So this is an aerospace product that was machined down at the machine shop. It's an aluminum alloyed machined part. I also have, this was a machined part along with a 3D printed part. So this black part was 3D printed. This is a machine part done by our machinist. And it's actually a tool and fixture device. The plastic part actually is designed to fit together and hold that piece in place while they machine it. I don't unfortunately have any drawings here to pop up to show you, but
that's okay. But thank you. Those pieces look awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. I have one last question. It's actually an admissions question. It says, my son applied to Shawshene. When will they find out if he's accepted or not?
So, can everyone hear me? Ms. Hayes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you, Mr. Norkiewicz. So 2/1 is the date where we get all the applications, and then we'll reach out to middle schools to get the rest of your information. So we'll get transcripts, discipline, attendance. You'll have an interview with us. Some of you have already had a phone interview, but we will call you and set up a phone interview. And you'll get a recommendation from your guidance counselor. Once we have all that information, you will get a score. The first round of applicants will be accepted last week of March and first week of April is our time frame for the first round. And then we have rounds after that as seats open up. So if you didn't get accepted on the first round, you might be waitlisted, or you might hear nothing because you're gonna get accepted on the second round. So it's a little tricky because seats have to open up, but end of March, early April will be our first round of acceptance.
Thank you, Jenna. I don't have any other questions here.
Well then, that was very, very helpful, Helen. Thank you once again. And thank you everyone for joining this event. And we look forward to having you back again next Thursday as we continue our series with our health service cluster. So at this point, I'd like to sign off. And again, I'd like to thank everybody and have a wonderful night. And we'll see you again next Thursday at the same time, 6 o'clock, to do a little bit of health service cluster in regards to those programs: cosmetology, dental assisting, health assisting, and medical assisting. See you then. Bye now.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.